Discovery Weekly.
Welcome to Discovery Weekly, a bonus show by the podcast Discovery Show that's all about the other things we've discovered throughout the week. I'm Zach.
I'm Kirk.
And I'm Matt.
And I discovered something that I feel like we all need, and it's a sexy thesaurus. I saw I've
always thought that. I was like, you know what? The thesaurus is missing. The thesaurus is missing.
Wait, are you okay?
Being sexy.
All right, Mike Tyson, settle down. But this is someone who came up with a thesaurus for people who maybe wanted to dabble in erotica, but don't know how to describe some parts.
Oh, man.
Fair warning, everyone. That is what I'm going to go into. I'm going to cut some of them.
Well,
but,
isn't this also for people who are really into erotica but are just tired of using the same words?
Yeah, or maybe maybe they're reading erotica and they don't have a
like,
Kindle.
What is that?
They're like, wait, what is that? What are they talking about? And now you know.
What's another word for boob?
Okay, so they don't have boobs, unfortunately. It's all just pure genitalia.
Oh.
So I guess let's start with the ladies. And she says, I've used she, her pronouns here, but that doesn't mean you have to. So the heart of her femininity, her center, her core, junction of her thighs, her essence, her entrance. And some of these are terrible. Mound, box, sheath, crease, crevice. This is the worst one.
Burial mound. Real
This
quick.
is the worst one.
That one's good.
Pool of moisture. Anyone? Anybody like that one? Honey pot.
Honey pot.
Mouth of her arousal. Canal. And then it gets this is where they all kind of
much worse.
They escalate. So okay,
so that's like tier 1.
Yeah, the last like 5 or 10 of these, you get it. Think raunchier words for a vagina, and that's what we're talking about here. Then we have the male one, which is really not creative.
How did you stumble across this?
Don't worry about it. I actually have no idea. It was a reference. It was
What's your pen name? What pen name did you land on, Zach? That you've been writing under?
I'm trying to see if I can combine two of these to make it.
Yeah,
but
he's been reading a lot of Danielle.
I was wondering
Steele.
where you were getting that extra side money.
Yeah,
and writing that erotica.
All of these, it wouldn't work if I just combined them, because I was like looking at them like, okay, so men, groin, manhood, his sex, arousal. I don't know really okay. Package, so easy. Bulge, his length. Staff, member, rod, shaft, appendage, stalk. I don't even. And then it just goes straight to like balls, and it's like, okay. but then there is 2 more parts to this, and we don't have to go down this rabbit hole, but there is another part that is actions. And so like if you need some more of the words, so like general terms for having sex or for positioning, and it's just a wild ride to read these things. And I'll leave you with this last thing. This is a bonus discovery from the writer of this blog. And it's really funny. I'll quote this one. While researching this post, I read the grossest paragraph I've ever discovered on Wikipedia. The similarity in the methods between kiss feeding and human or deep human kisses, e.g. French kiss, are quite pronounced. In the former, the tongue is used to push food from the mouth of the mother to the child, with the child receiving both the mother's food and the tongue in sucking movements. And the latter is the same but forgoes the pre-masticated food. In fact, through observations across various species and cultures, it can be confirmed that the act of kissing and pre-mastication has most likely evolved from the similar relationship-based feeding behaviors.
I've never been less aroused than these sexy thesaurus things.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. After the sexy thesaurus, I had to bring it down, where you had to think about mom birding. Anytime you kiss from now on.
None of these words seemed very creative either.
No, they're really not. I mean, I didn't mention nub for ladies. Does that
nub?
Does that?
What?
Does that
I
help?
have more questions than answers now.
Are these correct synonyms?
There's. I mean, I don't really know that there's rules in erotica. I think that you can kind of just wing it. I think you can go for it.
if someone were to say her nub was whatever,
I would think it was a different story.
That's okay. It would, it would definitely create some depth in this story. Exactly.
Wow. I'll send you guys a link to that if you ever need it.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm going to let that stay. A link.
Keep that link. So I discovered some really cool stuff about Japan that I'm going to talk about. But I wanted to talk about something else that I discovered over the weekend. Matt, have you ever been to Tarpon Springs?
Oh, I grew up there.
Yeah. I don't believe you. Did you for real?
We grew up on Keystone right across from the 76ers mansion where he had Buffalo. Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. That's fascinating. I'd never been to Tarpon Springs before, ever.
Really?
I ended up going to the Sponge Docks, of course, the tourist thing. But I'd never been before. And for those that don't know, it's a little town near the coast that has like boating docks, and it's kind of like a fishing village, but they specialize in sponge diving, which I thought was just so unique. And also there's such a rich Greek community there because of all the Greek immigrants that kind of founded the area. And I did some research, and apparently at one point sponges from Florida was Florida's biggest export.
Huh.
It was like much higher than even citrus of the time. Florida was founded on citrus, but at one point the sponges from Tarpon Springs was Florida's largest export.
Wow.
Which I thought was fascinating. And also I had some amazing Greek food. So good.
That's the first place where we had saganaki, which is the flaming cheese.
Yeah. I had that.
Ooh, that is good.
The baklava was amazing. Ooh. The desserts, so good.
So good.
Opa. Okay, so I have started this new segment where I'm going to talk about some really interesting things from around the world, some discoveries about different places and unique experiences in those places. And I think we did California, but it was specific to San Francisco, I believe. But now we're going to jump over to Japan. So I'm going to call this essentially Atlas Obscura Weekly because it's all from Atlas Obscura. But I found this one, and it's really cool, and the visuals are awesome. I want to see this thing working. I got to find a YouTube video about it. But it is a giant clock and it's made by Hayao Miyazaki.
Oh, yeah.
So he was one of the directors and one of the co-founders of Studio Ghibli. And while it's not exactly drawn from the 2004 film Howl's Moving Castle, it's been likened to the aesthetic of the anime classic. And it's this giant clock that is, it's huge. Like you can see it, and it's right out. It's in a very populated area. It says there's over 30 mechanical vignettes at appointed hours, including cannons, a couple of blacksmiths, a wheel spinner, boiling teapot, and 2 bell-headed piston crankers. They all move in a delicate and industrious ballet, some reminiscent of the cuckoo clock and others like 19th century tin toys. The clock springs to life 4 times on Monday to Friday, with an extra show on Saturday and Sunday. Each performance begins about 4 minutes ahead of the hour, and you can see it from many different spots around the Nippon TV tower. But get as close as you can so that you can really see the detail. Anime fan or not, Miyazaki's clock is full of detail. And it does look like, it looks awesome. I do want to see a video of this thing going off.
Here, real quick. Zach, you should probably put that on the list of male synonyms, bell-headed crankers.
Yeah, he did just mention that and then just glossed right over it like I knew what that was. Do you know what that is?
They're cranking the clock, and they have bells for heads.
Honestly, bell-headed cranker is better than anything on the list.
I'm legitimately like, that's a good euphemism.
That's a good one.
Bells for heads.
Yeah.
So it's very descriptive of what it is.
Dude, that sounds wild.
That sounds really cool.
I want to see that so bad. I'm gonna have to look up YouTube videos.
I bet there is a video of it, and that'd be great. But yeah, his movies are great. He's an awesome director.
Now is Japan where they're doing the Studio Ghibli theme park, or is that in the States?
Where was it? I remember seeing that was going to be a thing.
I would guess Japan. I mean, I think it's popular here, but
I think it was Japan. Pretty sure.
So is this isn't a part of that? This is just totally separate.
Nope. This is like in a downtown area. There's a link if you want to look at it real quick.
I do want to look at it. Wow. It is gigantic.
Put it in the Twitch chat as well.
So I had an art teacher who made kinetic sculptures is what I guess this probably looks like it is. It's essentially an automaton. So like it does everything based on itself. Like every time that gear turns, and it has enough notches that it does it on its own or seemingly.
I've always thought that kind of stuff was just so crazy.
Fascinating,
like,
dude.
Even just watches or clocks, all the gears and stuff. It's insane. My mind doesn't really like comprehend how
it does blow my mind. It's true.
I know. There was a really cool one. I'll have to say this for a future discovery, but I did find an artist who makes them and uses like mirrors and stuff, and it's crazy.
That sounds amazing.
Well, I'm gonna have to look into this more. Speaking of things to look into more, my discovery is actually based on our podcast discovery. That we did.
There was a good, overlap.
Yeah. We were listening to the episode about bears of wildlife, and got me thinking, what are some of the weirdest or strangest hybrid animals that exist? When they talked about polar bears and grizzlies. So essentially a hybrid is a sterile animal that is combining of two species, and it basically renders their like genetic passability as zero. You guys have heard of a few of them, like ligers, which is a lion and a tiger.
That was Napoleon Dynamite, right? Where they talked about ligers all the time.
Yeah. You guys have heard of tater tots.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of that.
It's obviously the pictures of these animals really sell them, but I'm just going to read a few of them that I think are pretty great. There is a liger, which is a male lion and a female tiger, and it gets to be that like specific because right underneath that is a tigon, which is a male tiger and a female lion. And if you look at the pictures, it's like the tigon looks more like classic lion, and the liger looks more like a tiger, I guess. I don't know. It's very interesting.
They're both gigantic.
I know, right? It's huge. My favorite on this list is a zonkey.
Yes, that is the cutest thing I've seen in a very long time.
That is very adorable.
It's like a donkey wearing fishnets, which is great. Or like
obviously that's a young one because it looks so cute too.
I know. Its name is probably Petals or something.
Stop it.
Going down the Jaglion, which that's not a great combination.
How are all these lions intermixing with all these other cats? Is it always in captivity?
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but I imagine there's a lot of bleed between their territories because tigers in Asia and like jaguars are in mostly India, and like, I don't know. I'm not gonna. I guess I shouldn't just guess.
No,
I don't know.
I think you should.
Well, it's probably because they're best friends. And then they realized love was in front of them the whole time. The geep, a goat and a sheep. That is also very cute. we got a growler bear. There it is. There's our growler bear. It not as cute as I thought.
Kind of scary.
Kind of creepy, yeah. The koi wolf, which I know we have one of these at the Lowry Park Zoo in Tampa.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
And that's just a coyote and a wolf. Looks a lot like either a coyote or a wolf because they both look similar. Here's another good one. Zebroid.
That thing looks interesting.
That thing doesn't look like it wants to be alive. I don't know why. It just gives that
It does look
air.
sad. It looks like Eeyore.
It's a zebra and any other equine, which could be a horse, anything. We got a Savannah cat, which is a serval, which is just a cat.
I did not know what a serval was. They mentioned that in this episode we were talking about.
Yeah, they're weird.
I didn't know what it was.
They're basically cats with really long legs.
One of my aunts had a Savannah. So it's essentially like a dog-sized cat. It's very tall. It's like 3 feet tall. It's weird because they're so big.
Huh.
That's very strange to me.
But it was it was super nice. It was just a giant, nice cat.
Huh. Yes, Kirk got ahead of that because it's a very funny name. The Wolfen. Which I didn't know this was a thing, but a male false killer whale.
What is a female false killer whale?
I imagine it's actually a dolphin of some kind. But I'm not going to assume any more than I just did.
Yeah, it's a dolphin.
Huh.
It's a certain species of dolphin in tropical regions.
Well, we might even have some male false killer whales near us right now.
Yeah, maybe.
They're everywhere.
They're all around you.
We got the beefalo, which is a buffalo and a cow.
Maybe one of the best name combinations we have.
Yeah.
They're also called cataloo.
That's
worse. Beefalo's the one.
It's funny that they wouldn't just name these other things. But anyway, a hinny. A hinny is a female donkey and a male horse. That's actually a really beautiful animal. Yeah. Oh,
I don't understand
this
this next one. I don't understand why it turns it black.
That's weird.
Because narwhals and belugas are white, right?
Yeah, I thought
both of them white?
Are narwhals white? I don't know.
I mean, I've seen pictures of white ones. Maybe they're not all white.
I don't even know. Narluga was that one. It's basically a black beluga whale is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Very weird. Camel, or I guess it's camel llama. That just looks like a camel.
It does look like a little baby camel.
I don't know how to say this, but it's a cow and a wild yak. In other words, a dazo. A tenuous name. Leopon. I love that movie, Kate and Leopon. Male leopard and female lion. That one's pretty cool looking. Mullard is a mallard and a Muscovy duck. Ooh, not a good looking one. A zubron is a cow and a European bison. Just looks like a bison. And there's a lot more. Obviously, donkey wasn't on the list, but not donkey, mule.
I was like, you can't put donkeys on the list. Isn't that its own thing?
Yeah. But they're definitely really weird because, some of them aren't natural and people just inseminate X with Y and see what happens. So interesting to go through.
Is the one that looks really cool.
Which one?
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out the show notes and looking at these things because they are, in some cases, strange looking, sometimes adorable, sometimes awesome.
And you know what? It does sound like it's just like a bad, derogatory term for a lion. You're a jag lion.
It does.
Yeah. Well, that's that.
I discovered that you can make a fully functioning microscope out of Legos.
Whoa.
So Professor Timo Betts is a biophysicist at the University of Göttingen in Germany, and he basically has widely cited research papers, and he has a lot of things going on, and he has created not only how to do this, but has released the plans to build your own microscope out of Legos. And literally, this is a quote from him: "If you have the parts and you are good at building Lego, it can be done in 30 minutes. If you're a bit new, I guess 1 hour is reasonable. There are some difficult parts when it comes to the part where we need to adjust the focus, but because basically he's saying that you have to move it fractions of an nth, like fractions of a diameter of a hair. It's all of that is so precise that it's hard to do." And he has found a couple tools to make it so that he can do it. And he says, "My son and I were basically sitting together playing Lego on the weekend. I had agreed to prepare a lecture for school kids with the aim to introduce them to my work in the lab, biophysics, with a focus on cell mechanics. So I was asking him what he thinks is interesting for children his age. He told me that he really likes the microscopes we have in the lab, and suddenly there was an idea of having a microscope built from Lego. And my first reaction was that this is too hard because of the precise movements and all the parts that are non-Lego, but he came up with a series of great ideas on how to overcome the difficulties that I explained to him. And what you end up doing, you build an apparatus out of Lego that looks like a tower, basically. And then the only parts that you don't use that that you use that aren't Lego is use a couple lenses from cell phones, and they only cost $4.70 a piece. So you just use these little lenses, and what you do is you put your cell phone on top of it, and paired with the lenses and everything, you have yourself a working microscope, literally designed.
This is a discovery for Keith because Keith loves Legos.
Yeah, so I will definitely send this over to him, and I bet he's gonna just make it. I bet he will make this thing.
Do it, Keith. Send us a video. We need to see some pictures. Do it.
There's a way to, and it's also cool that a biophysicist just did this and just made this thing happen, because it's a cool thing to be able to introduce science in a very accessible way. So this isn't any way that I don't know of any way to get a cheaper microscope than Legos and a $4 like lens. That sounds like a win.
Heck yeah, that's really cool. Here's another discovery that I've got for Japan. This is from Atlas Obscura, and I think that Matt already opened the link.
Oh yeah,
saw his face.
My face lit up.
So it's just a spa, nothing special. It's just a spa where you go and you have a spa day, right? I mean, it's just that you go drink some wine or some green tea. You have a cleanse, whatever. But this one's a little bit different. Set at the foot of lush green mountains, the spa/theme park in Japan's Hakone Prefecture, I don't know how to say any of the words at all, offers all of the refreshing spa treatments one might expect from such a relaxing place. But its themed baths are like nothing else in the world. The complex offers a number of themed spas, such as Roman-style ancient Roman bath, or the massive God's Aegean Sea. However, it's the drink-themed attractions like the green tea spa, where bathers can get to relax in a pool filled with actual green tea. Or there's a red wine spa. There's a Japanese sake spa, a coffee spa, and a pepper water filled with ramen noodle spa. But what's interesting is it's not just like a kitschy thing. It says more than just colored water. These pools are actually filled with the drink. So the coffee is brewed in pots and poured into the pool barrel by barrel, and the sake and wine baths could even get someone drunk. Although drinking any of these waters is highly inadvisable.
I'm not drinking anybody's body wine. That's disgusting.
Each themed bath also features oversized drink containers associated with the bath. For instance, the wine bath issues from a giant wine bottle, and massive fake noodles hang over the ramen pool. Baths can be both relaxing and fun, but sometimes it can make people hungry.
Honestly, you have to admire the commitment here to the bit.
It looks crazy. They're like hot tubs filled with coffee. There's like a small pool filled with wine. it looks awesome. I would love to do this. I've never wanted to go to a spa until now.
Yeah, this is one of those. They were too busy asking if they could to answer if they should.
Yeah, true. It's a fair point.
I love that though. I wish that there was a picture of the ramen pool.
I know there's not.
I know. I'm so bummed about that. I don't know if you guys know this.
I was looking for that. That was the one I was looking for specifically, but I don't see it.
Man,
I'll find other pictures.
I love ramen.
Me too.
Me too.
Oh snap. Well, my second discovery this week is an album that just came out 2-3 days, maybe a week. I'm not entirely sure. But I've just started listening to it pretty extensively today. It comes from Justin Vernon, Bon Iver lead singer. He had this project going called Big Red Machine for a while, where he was collaborating with kind of various different people. And this new Big Red Machine album is called How Long Do You Think It's Gonna Last? And my God, it's quite a ride. It's very, I want to say it's very centric around sort of the last year and a half, you know? Because he was actually releasing music as Bon Iver during that time, and it's kind of like very centered towards that. There was PDLIF, Please Don't Live in Fear, which was an interesting song and everything. But this project, if you don't know Big Red Machine, is very much more like electronic than his other ones. And it's interesting. Like he has I don't know how to say her name, Anais Mitchell, who he collaborates with pretty regularly. And Robin Pecknold, the lead singer of Fleet Foxes, is on a track or two. Taylor Swift is on 2 of them. It's just it's a good listen. And the first 3 tracks are just absolute amazing. And everything else sort of just closes off the album really beautifully. But definitely check it out. It's not, I don't think it's too long. It's maybe 30, 40 minutes, but very great listen.
Big Red Machine.
Oh, Big Red Machine.
Big Red Machine.
I do need to throw in it's kind of a shameless plug, but not really. I am going to plug my own other show here. By the time you guys are hearing this, my newest Creators Cove episode will be out. And the reason I want to bring it up is because it's somebody we've had featured on the show before. Mark, our Matt and I's friend, it has released his new album, and it's called Casalago, and it's really, really good.
Oh, so good.
And I did a liner notes episode with both Matt and Mark, because Matt was a major collaborator on this album. He was at
I was going to say, you were on there, weren't you?
Yeah. Matt is on the interview. He's on the album. You can hear those sweet, sweet harmonies underneath Mark. And yeah, so it's just a really good album. It's basically just wanted to shout out that album. And Matt and Mark both did a great job on it.
It came out good, didn't it?
Sounds really good.
Listening to them all
the
together.
Background vocals, they were so spot on.
Yeah, just I feel like there was a little too much Mark, a little too much guitar, a little too much
some of the levels are weird. The background vocals are really in the background. No, I'm joking. Really great album. If you'd like to hear kind of Mark break down song by song and Matt talking about their experience locking themselves in a cabin on a little lake in Brandon and making an album, that will be out. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I think your concept for liner notes is really spot on. I really do think it's a really good idea, to hear the song, but then hear right afterward or, underneath talk the musician, the artist talking about the inspiration and stuff. I think it's great.
Yeah. And I actually remember when I got this idea, somebody was telling me, like, because it was at least true for me, when I would buy a new CD, and this is dating all of us on this show, I guess. When I buy a new CD, we had physical music at one point. And I would always take out the liner notes of it. I would take out the front page and I would look at their art they had on there and like their lyrics and their acknowledgments and things like that. And that was gone. So I wanted to kind of fill that void. It's also given me a little bit of space to kind of be more creative with how I put it out there. So on this one, and you guys can tell me if you think it works, I wanted you to feel like you were in the cabin. I wanted it to feel like you were sitting there listening to Mark because we recorded the episode in Casa Lago. So I wanted it to feel like you were sitting in there with us and you could hear like bugs and birds and stuff outside and you can kind of hear the room a little bit. So it's been a fun one. It's a lot more editing, but it's fun to
it
it's
does
fun
sound
to
like a
explore.
nightmare to edit. I'm not gonna lie.
It's challenging. It's challenging. Well, I don't want to leave without telling you guys about the Bro Shaver. And I think it's time for you guys to check this out. Chat, you guys can also check this out.
Ooh,
So
right, here we go.
Here's some things. There's some things I want you to check out on this. So first of all, the tagline for this is "Give her what she wants, your shaved back or your smooth back." So weird part number one. I need you guys to take a look at the women models in this ad and see if you notice anything about them.
What?
Okay. So they were naked, were they not?
They were very clearly naked, and they photoshopped
her
a
holding
bikini.
one.
Yeah, no, holding two. I mean, I don't know what you're looking at because there is one on the
I was
top
looking at
part.
the one where she's on all fours.
Yeah, and she's holding one, and two are coming out of her back somehow, and give her what she wants, your hairless back. And it literally is a back shaver. But no, if you scroll down, you'll see another one.
Yeah, that one got me.
It's even weirder because they photoshopped a bikini on.
That she's dual wielding these. Like she's like, I got some hairy backs I gotta take care of.
And the thing I really don't understand is, okay, clearly this person was not hired for this shoot. They found a naked picture and they're like, we need this to be okay for Amazon. So we're going to paint, like, because it looks like paint. It looks like they went Microsoft Paint and drew an orange bikini on there.
They didn't even have Creative Cloud. They're like, what can we use? Microsoft Paint. I know.
Okay, but now for the actual product, because for once, this is actually a fairly popular product. But all it is it's a razor on a stick.
It's a razor on a stick.
And the reason they have it is so you can shave your back, but you don't have to like be careful about it. I think that's the idea. It's got two of those straight razor refills in it.
I don't understand. How does this thing work, but also not cut you?
No, because it has the guards on it to save you. So it has protective corners and it has like some guards on there so you can like shave your own back with it. Or this naked paint photoshopped bikini lady can do it for you. She has two of them ready to go. But and then you look at the pictures down below. One of these guys is literally shaving his back when there's sand all over it. And it's like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you guys?
Why are there so many dudes shaving their bodies at the beach?
I know. It's like, do you guys seriously just go to the beach like, oh, I forgot to shave. Let me do it now.
And you're right. The dude's freaking covered in sand.
Do you see how much sand that is? That can't be good for your skin. That's gotta suck.
Oh my God.
It basically is just the weirdest product I've ever seen. But it's very, very popular because basically all of the guys in the comments love it. And they love it because they're not cutting themselves while they're trying to shave their back at the beach. They get to do it with safety.
So, okay. I have to say, though, I made my way down to the comment or the reviews or whatever. And Cthulhu the Destroyer gave it 2 stars. And
Cthulhu the Destroyer.
I had a mixed experience with this item. I followed the advice to the letter. I found taking a hot shower first and then drying off before shaving worked best. Wet, it cut me a lot. Some angles worked well dry, but overall it cut me too often, even when being very, very careful.
Kirk, what was the word they used? Brushing. I almost wonder if this is brushing.
Where you pay a bunch of people to leave reviews
for ads reviews because it makes no sense that this is a good product.
Well,
so here's another 1 star. And it's by I'll just do his last name, Boudreaux. Does not remove hair, but will remove your skin, making you bleed all over your bathroom. So there's some
funny. Well,
there's some issues.
That sounds like a design flaw.
Yeah. I also must say, this guy This guy gave it 5 stars, but right in his topic, he says, "Did cut me. Good clean shave."
That's how you know it's a good clean shave. If it cuts your skin right off, you know that thing's sharp.
Weird. I put the razor blades in and thought to myself, this is going to cut me to shreds. So I started off gingerly, not a scratch. Did take me a while to complete my first shave.
I will
That's
say
so
there
weird.
are some. There's one guy who put photos of him cutting his back all up.
Oh.
There's also a lot of pictures of guys that are just like kind of posing in a mirror. So if you wanted to see that, that's also an option. Basically, the Bro Shaver 2.2, not 2.0, because they're like, that stupid 2.0 was 0.2 away from now. We're the next level.
Wow.
And this is an option for everybody. If you like shaving your back at the beach and cutting your skin off, you can have the Bro Shaver.
Let me read this review quick. I'm not a newbie to the world of shaving with real razors. I've shaved my face with DE safety razors, injector razors, and shavettes, i.e. straight razors. I know not to shave with pressure and all the other good stuff necessary to scrape the hair off your face without also scraping the whole face off. All that knowledge and practice of technique didn't stop me from slicing the ever-loving shit out of my back. The first and only time that I attempted to use this product, blood everywhere, hurt like hell. Basically, I managed to shave off a pretty good chunk of skin, and I've still got the scar to prove it a number of months later.
Oh my
Plus,
God.
frankly, the spots I was able to shave before I managed to cut myself weren't even all that well shaved. Oh, man.
Oh my God.
I would love one to just be like, my husband uses, he's no longer with us. Like, oh my
My
God.
husband
you.
used to use it.
Thank you, Bro Shaver.
No,
But
I found out that they
it
also
was
do have
very
Bro
clean.
Shaver Guerrilla Warfare Special Forces Edition, and so you can get it in green, and then the model is wearing a different bikini now. It's camo, and the Bro Shaver's green. It's almost like it's photoshopped, and they can make her look like whatever they want to.
Wow, they're geniuses.
But yeah,
So wait a minute.
That's,
Those are you're just sticking razors into it?
yeah, you just stick
Yeah.
a bunch of like safety
That's the
blades in
same
there,
kind of
like
razors
safety
that I
razors,
use for my safety blade, my safety razor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course that's going to slice people up.
Oh, it'll slice you real good if you're not careful with it, for sure.
I think
What?
this is brushing, dude. There's no way that these other ones are real. They're like,
insane.
great shave.
It's weird
Shave
to
me real good.
It's weird to shave me real good. It's weird to me that it can be both. You know what I mean? Like you would think, and okay, benefit of the doubt. People are pretty stupid. And so like if you were to sell even like a safety razor, which I've cut myself with it before, you know, but it's rare. You know, it's pretty rare. It is really sharp though. And sometimes you just catch it wrong and you cut yourself. So like if you give any random group of dum-dums something sharp, they're probably going to cut themselves. So I can't tell whether it's been brushed or if the dum-dums have self-selected, because you're talking about 4,200 ratings. So what percentage of that is going to cut themselves? If you were to give a sharp object of any kind to 4,200 people, what number do you think would cut themselves?
I don't know.
I think it's over 10.
Over 10.
Matt, did you look at the bikini model on the Guerrilla Warfare one?
Oh yeah, she's got a little bit of schmutz on her face.
That's my favorite part.
I love how they put face paint.
Yeah, like what?
Once again, they can't be bothered to do anything the real way.
Oh man,
So weird.
Was the other one holding one behind her back, kind of like she was ready to stab you with it?
You know what? Is the middle one in lingerie the real one? It looks less photoshopped than the others.
I think it is.
Do you see that?
Yeah. If it's not, they were doing a really good job and they were like, oh, this is too hard. Wow. Yeah, definitely check out all the Bro Shaver versions.
Bro Shavers.
And you find the best, worst Amazon listings that I've seen.
So good.
So yeah, we wanted to leave you with the bro shaver. If you're at all interested, the link will be in the description. I think would advertise against it unless you really hate having skin. But yeah, thanks so much for listening, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
This was a podcast from the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.